Hey everybody, and welcome, and thanks for joining us on another action-packed edition of the OverMark Podcast. We're your hosts, TJ and Dave. We're going to be talking about Smackdown from May 30th and Collision from the 31st, and we got a little bit of wrestling news to wrap it up after that. So like always, check us out on all of our social media, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and Twitter at OverMark ENT, and that's about it. We're going to jump right into it like we always do. We got WWE Smackdown from 5/30/25. They had an attendance of 14,556. They could have held 15,419, so it said they had 836 tickets left, but who knows how much they actually had left. You know, it was probably pretty much filled up, right?
They were close either way.
Yeah, they were in the Food City Center in Knoxville, Tennessee. Will they run out of other names or something?
I don't know.
Is that what they call Knoxville, Tennessee?
I don't think so. I don't even know what Food City is. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Apparently it's in Albington, VA. It's some company or something. So at this point, yeah, I feel like they probably ran out of names. But it was in Knoxville, Tennessee, which was Bianca Belair's hometown, right? So she came out.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she's still injured, and she was in her ring gear, so they wanted to get her out there and have her get a good reaction in front of her home crowd. She receives a huge reaction. You know, this is her town, like we just said. They were chanting EST. She leads the fans in singing a Rocky Top from the University of Tennessee's fight song. It was pretty not good, but I guess they liked it. Bianca reflects on the difficulties of the past few months, calling Knoxville her safe space. Says she's not fully recovered, but getting better each day, and promises to prove again why she's the EST of WWE. Every time she talks, she just feels like she's begging them, like, please like me. You know, like, please. It's, I don't know. Just never really buying it. Naomi comes out. Her music hits. She interrupts Bianca, drawing lots of boos. She definitely got some heat. Naomi sarcastically says it's about time Bianca showed up on SmackDown. Bianca tells her this isn't the time, but Naomi insists that she's been thinking about what happened between them. Naomi asks for forgiveness and wants to fix their friendship. Reveals she's even visited Bianca's parents' home, but no one was there, so she let herself in and looked through photo albums. Bianca's furious. She gives her like this really weird, like, shocked face, like, are you kidding me? But I don't know. It just came off not good.
It wasn't great.
No, it's just, I don't know. I've seen better acting out of like 13-year-old kids that I went to school with. She was firmly stating that their friendship's over, threatens Naomi if she ever approaches her parents again. Naomi coldly replies, it wouldn't look good for Bianca or her mother to be in a wheelchair, escalating the tension. Then old Cargill arrives. So this is when things really started to heat up, huh? Jade Cargill storms down to the ring to attack Naomi. After the assault, Jade locks eyes with Bianca in a tense stare down. As Jade starts to exit, Nia Jax comes out to complete the confrontation. And like, when she comes out, they're playing like some kind of a Jurassic Park type noise, aren't they?
It was something like that. I can't remember, but there was some kind of loud noise.
Yeah, it's just like,
I don't remember ever hearing that before, but I guess it is a thing.
It's like some incoming monster type noise, but it perfectly describes what's about to happen. If you had like a glass sitting there, you'd see like the ripples, like from the first Jurassic Park movie.
Yep.
But anyways, commentary announces the next match is a Money in the Bank qualifier featuring Old Cargill and Naomi versus Nia Jax. The show cuts to a commercial break. I'll see what you think about this real quick, but before that, I just want to say that anytime that you have Naomi, like either one of these three combination, like out of these three, if you just had like a one-on-one match with a mix of either one of them, you're in for a shitty match. So when like you got like all three of them, like you just know you're in for a complete shit fest, and that is 100% what this match turned out to be, right?
Trio of terrible. Yeah, I mean it's
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, you want to like do the actual match part, or do you want to just talk about it?
Well, What's there to talk about?
Well, we'll do the breakdown, I guess. Twisting my arm a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. So Naomi goes after Jade early, stomping her down in the corner. She hits a bonsai drop style move on Jade for a 2 count. Nia Jax tries to intervene, but is knocked out of the ring again. Naomi climbs the turnbuckle, but jumps into a fall-away slam from Cargill. Jade takes control and hits a black hole slam for a near fall, broken up by Nia. Jax dominates briefly, hitting a leg drop on both opponents, then attempts an elevated leg drop on Naomi, and Naomi narrowly kicks out. Jax tries a Samoan drop, but Naomi counters with a crucifix pin for 2 as we enter picture-in-picture. Nia beats Naomi down and tosses her out. Cargill enters, trading strikes with Jax until being thrown outside. Naomi and Jax briefly team up against Jade, hitting a snapmare and a sliding lariat. Cargill attempts to fight back, but they continue to double team her as we return to full screen. Jax plants Cargill. Naomi goes for a leg drop and a cover, but Jax breaks it up. Naomi rolls Jax up for a near fall, then gets thrown into the corner. Jax hits a senton on the canvas before Jade fires back. Jade sends Jax into Naomi, hits a kick and a cover, but Naomi breaks it up. Jade dodges a top rope attack, hits Jaded on Naomi, but Jax breaks up the pin. Naomi and Jade trade shots before Jax hits a crossbody on both and gets 2 near falls. Jax sets up for a Super Samoan drop on Naomi, but Jade splashes off the top to break up the pin and cover Jax for 2. The crowd erupts with "This is awesome" chant. I don't know how awesome it actually was. All 3 women regroup. Jax sneaks in for a Tower of Doom, hitting both opponents. Jax lands an Annihilator on both women, but Naomi recovers and rolls Nia Jax up for the win. Yep, so Naomi wins, and she's advancing to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And that was however many minutes of our life that we won't get back, plus the minutes of our life that we have now just spent talking about it.
She struggled to get her up, or to roll her up. Like, you see that? Like, she could barely do it. Like, Naomi's terrible, man. Like, she did multiple kicks that didn't connect with anybody this match. Like, she was being like, super safe and not wanting to hurt anybody, barely touching, like, people, and multiple times not touching them. Yeah, this match was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like, why would you care about any one of these people going forward in any way in anything that they're doing? It's just, I don't know, pure trash. And it really wasn't that bad of a build-up, the stuff that they were doing before WrestleMania, but, it can only last so long before you just start seeing the cracks in the foundation, right?
Right. And we could have probably been done seeing all of this after WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah, it was some garbage, and we can go ahead and move on. Pretty shitty stuff, and we got the Bloodline and R-Truth. So we had Fatu, Solo, and JC bumping to R-Truth backstage. R-Truth, unaware of the danger, talks himself into a match with JC later tonight. Fatu says that he'll let Solo and Mateo have their fun. He has business to handle, and he's like, yeah, I mean, whatever the fuck he says.
His little catchphrase.
Yeah, just more of the same shit that we kind of been getting from them all the time. Just R-Truth mixed in. And we got another backstage segment after that with Chelsea Green with her face mask and Nick Aldis, and she confronts him about her broken nose from Saturday night's main event, and she demands that Zelina Vega be stripped of the U.S. title, but Aldis says that she must be medically cleared for a rematch. Instead, Aldis proposes Alba Fire versus Vega, saying Chelsea knows best.
Like knows, like the
thing on her face. Yeah, I don't know. This just more corny shit, right?
Yep.
Nothing really to talk about there, I don't think.
No.
We got a backstage segment with Money in the Bank hype. Tiffany Stratton addresses the looming threat of a Money in the Bank cash-in. Naomi interrupts, warning Stratton of what could happen if she wins Money in the Bank. After Naomi leaves, Alexa Bliss steps in and warns Stratton to worry about her winning the briefcase instead. I don't know, it was alright, I guess. It seems like Stratton's getting more and more, like, cocky every week. You notice in her promos, like...
settling into being champion.
Yeah, she's not really acting very face-like, but I guess it's not in their character, and people are into it anyway, so why does it matter? Nobody else has a fucking defined line these days. Why should she? But we can go ahead and move on if you want to break down this match here. Pretty quick.
Okay, so yeah, we get the aforementioned match with Truth and JC Mateo from that backstage segment a minute ago there. And R-Truth enters to a big reaction, rapping his "What's Up" theme and slapping hands with the fans. JC Mateo enters with Solo Sikoa at his side. The match begins. Mateo dominates early with shoulder tackles and hammer throws in the corner. Truth mounts a comeback. Hits the Cena-style shoulder tackles in a 5-knuckle shuffle. He attempts a attitude adjustment, but Mateo counters and traps him. Mateo hits a Tour of the Islands for the win. It's kind of a squash match. And yeah, it was it was an okay match, I guess. I don't know. What did you think of this?
Excuse me. I mean, it was what it was. It was a squash match.
Yep.
We'll talk about maybe some of the reasons why that happened later, but I don't know. It's R-Truth just getting his butt kicked by a guy that they're trying to put over. But Mateo's all right, like I said, he just looks kind of weird, but they just
wide. He's wide.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys that kind of act like he does these days, so it's I'm not really sure. What I'm trying to get at there is, like, they have a lot of new people that are there, and a lot of them aren't defined, and they don't really let him talk too much, so he's just kind of just hanging around some other people, drifting around right now, right? Not a lot of direction, and besides hanging out with Solo, but we'll see. I'm sure that that'll be the straw that breaks the back with Fatu. So moving on from that, it was the WWE Tag Team Championship contender Chaos and the Street Profit
segment.
Yeah. But the Street Profits came down. They made their entrance to a strong reaction. I don't know about that. I feel like that is being very generous. I feel like they didn't get much of a reaction at all. Montez Ford hypes the team as the best in WWE today. They're good. Like, they can have great matches. And they can talk too. They're not bad. Just, it's hard to, it like when it comes to like a one-on-one thing, it's the same with the tag team. It takes like 2 to tango. I guess in the tag team it's 4. But you got to have that other person to make you shine. To have the big rivalry with.
Yep.
No, I'm said that weird. But Angelo Dawkins acknowledges the growing line of contenders. Most recently, the Wyatt Six. Ford says that they'll defend the titles against any team, anytime. Fraxium comes in, and Axiom and Nathan Frazier interrupt, frustrated after last week's title match was ruined by interference. The Street Profits argue that they were close to winning before Chaos broke out. Axiom says that they'll never know unless they run it back. Frazier agrees and challenges them to another match. The Motor City Machine Guns arrive, and like every time these guys walk in, it's just like they look like they're on crack or something. Like I don't know what their deal is, but they're looking rough. It's like they haven't slept. Their skin looks like just pulled back across their faces, like they're worn thin, and like they've just been partying 24/7. And this is just like, oh man, we got to stop by and do the wrestling thing, then we can go back to doing whatever the fuck we were doing before. But Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin come out and make their case for a title shot. They argue their legacy and experience make them top contenders. Where were they before this? I don't know much about
TNA?
These guys. Said that they were in TNA for a long time.
Yeah, they were super prominent in TNA back.
I know
in the day,
AEW wanted them, from what they were saying.
They, I think they were at Ring of Honor for a while, but that was before Tony Khan owned them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
a lot of guys
mostly
were.
TNA and Independence in Ring of Honor.
Huh.
NWA.
Well, they're here, huh?
They are.
DIY joined the mix. They arrive with Candice LeRae leading the charge. Candice mocks the other teams for bickering. Chris Sabin snaps back at her trash talk. Gargano brings the current chaos in the division, especially the Wyatt Six threat. He brought it up. Tommaso abruptly cuts him off, delivering a grim line about death of the SmackDown Tag Team division. I mean, he's not wrong, huh? He calls for a moment of silence. Then the Wyatt Six attack after the arena goes dark. The Wyatt Six pop up when it comes back light, attacking every team. Uncle Howdy hits a brother Abigail on Nathan Frazier, and they've been misgendering her the whole time, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, it popped up. But the group stands tall as Howdy declares we're here. A sudden Nikki Cross jump scare takes us to commercial. And some of the notes here are asking, why are 7 people afraid of 5? It makes 0 sense. Why don't the teams, like the 7 that were in there before, beat up the 5, whip the Wyatt's butts, and just get them out of there, you know? It's just doesn't really make much sense. And even if they're spooky, it's like, well, let's get the girl out of there. So then what do they got? 4? And then you just beat the other guys down. You know, it's almost 2 versus 1.
4 the other guy. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Like, oh, this guy's starting to get an advantage. One of you run over here. I got this guy that we beat the shit out of.
Yeah, let's just try to rip this guy's mask off. We'll see how he reacts to that. But I know that, you know, it's like a TV show, so...
Yeah, make it make sense, though, at least a little bit.
Yeah, maybe these guys should at least have weapons when they're beating these people up. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to shit on these guys too much. I'm sure there was a world where they could be doing something good, not as the Wyatts, but anything related to the Wyatts for the most part, you know, like we've repeated before, is usually bad stuff, and this was no different.
No, I think the best shit that these guys have ever done is the Wyatt stuff. So, I mean, like, yeah, oh no.
I think Bo Dallas had an okay NXT run when he had to...
And that Bo leave stuff, I can't even say on here what... It was just not good. That's what we'll say.
It was better than this. What is this?
Maybe.
At least he won the NXT championship and was at least a little bit over for like a month. You know, like what... This is just like a guy and a whole bunch of guys in some really cheap makeup and mask and...
he sucked as much as that Adam Rose guy or whatever the fuck his name was. Well, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, the one that hung out with his own caddy.
Don't be a lemon, be a rose. But I fucking hated that guy.
Yeah, I saw that he was in the news today. I didn't click on it, but apparently he looks completely different, which if it's from the last time I seen him, he looks like a fucking like mountain man bodybuilder. But
he looked like a meth addict the last time I saw him.
Yeah, he's done that a lot too, but we can go ahead and move on from talking about the Wyatt Six. You guys probably get it. Yeah. But let's go ahead. If you don't have anything to add to that, we'll move on to the next thing here. You can talk about it.
No. Yeah. Take us into it.
What's you? I think I just talked about that.
Oh, shit. My bad. So we got a non-title match. Alba Fire versus the Women's U.S. Champion, Zelina Vega. Alba Fire... attacks aggressively early, cornering Vega. Vega reverses the momentum with a flurry, scoring a quick near fall. Fire slams Zelina into the mat before the champ can respond with an arm drag. Vega sends Alba to the outside with a counter. Vega tries a 619 style setup, but Chelsea Green interferes, grabbing Zelina's leg. Piper Niven attacks Vega on the outside while the ref is distracted. Alba acknowledges Green with a mocking salute as we go to break. We come back from the break. Alba controls the pace with a chin lock until Zelina fights free. Vega lands a knee strike to drop Fire. Both women are down as the ref starts to count. They both recover by 7. Vega fires up, sending Alba into the corner. Vega hits a Meteora for a 2 count. She attempts a suplex and Fire counters, but Zelina hits a jawbreaker and goes up top. Vega misses a moonsault. Fire climbs and connects with a swanton, but it's only a near fall. The ref is distracted as Vega rolls to the outside. Green and Niven try to attack. Green removes her face mask to strike, but accidentally hits Niven. Zelina scrambles back into the ring and hits a code red on Fire for the win. And that was a match. That was a match. And I don't know. I kind of tired of seeing the Secret Harvest girls. They serve their purpose, I guess, but they're not for me. What did you think of this match?
I mean, I guess they're in the place of Chelsea Green till she gets better, but I mean, even then they're on every show or every SmackDown, and they fucking stink. And this match was terrible. And I don't know. Alba fired. I'm not really sure what she can do because she doesn't really ever talk too much. And Zelina Vega's just, her run's just cold as fuck. It doesn't seem like they really had any plans for her. I don't know. I could do without this whole thing. It's pretty much about all I have to say about that one. Then we'll go to this next segment here. It was The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. The Miz hypes up Carmelo Hayes ahead of tonight's Money in the Bank qualifier. Miz says they'll both go on to Money in the Bank. Melo sets boundaries, telling Miz that he earned this and will run the play, but do it his way. Melo drops the Melo don't Miz, we are awesome. Yeah, he was basically saying, he was like, we'll be Mr. Money in the Bank. And he said, what do you mean we? And he's like, I'm the one that's doing this. We're just trying to go by your play. And then Miz was like, oh, okay, all right. Because, he was basically like downplaying the Miz and acting like he hasn't gotten there. Because Miz was like, who got us here? All that shit. Yeah. And then the Miz was the one in every promo before this doing the little like, we are awesome. Well, like now that Melo did it. So it seems like they're probably going to turn, or the Miz is probably going to turn on him soon. But it was okay, not too bad. Just a little segment. They both talk pretty good enough at least, right?
Awesome. Yeah, it was okay.
Well,
I hate that catchphrase. It makes me cringe every time I hear it.
It is pretty dumb, but we'll move on to the next part. It was a brief glimpse of Damon Priest walking alone. Those little cuts that they have, just him walking in the back. But he's appeared to be like contemplating something, recovering emotionally from his cave match with Drew McIntyre. And like we said, his nickname is actually Drew Sacintyre. But we'll talk about that some other time. But we come back from the commercial break, and it was a promo vignette for Julia. She declares that she'll prove that she's better than the best, and impossible to deny. She did a little promo in English, then did a little Japanese thing after. Wasn't bad. It was produced well. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then it cut to Julia and Zelina Vega in the back, and Julia was telling Vega that she sees her as champ, but sees the title even more. Vega brushes it off, walking away without a word. So I guess that's the direction that they will be going in now. Yeah.
So Julia's going to be U.S. champ soon.
Yeah, most likely.
Yep.
That'll be cool.
It will.
I'm sure that she'll be able to do better with the belt than Vega did, and she'll be a little transitional 100%. Champ. And you want to take us to this next in-ring promo with Priest here?
Yeah, sure. So Damian Priest comes out to a decent pop, and his pyro was slightly off. I had noticed. I didn't note it, but anyway. He reflects about his difficult upbringing, comparing it to last weekend's brutal cage match against Drew McIntyre. He thanks McIntyre for reminding him who the old Drew is. Priest is now focused on championships and has Jacob Fatu in his sights. Priest says he respects what Fatu's overcome, but doesn't respect the crew he hangs with. He warns that if they get involved, they can all catch a fresh one. That's a very New York thing to say. Closes with, I don't want it to be your nickname. I don't want it to be a nickname anymore. I want to be El Champion Guapa. I can't remember who I was watching that when I heard that in here, but I think Brandon was laughing at that. But it was an okay little promo. He's gotten a lot better at these promos than what he used to be when he had first started, when Edge brought him into the Judgment Day. I guess it's been a couple, 2 or 3 years now. But yeah, I see him as a upper card guy now. Okay promo. What'd you think about it?
It was all right. He's I like Priest. He's kind of got the same thing going on. I feel like a lot of the guys on the show do right now, and it's like they don't have anything that like hot for him to kind of jump to right off the bat. Like what?
Yeah.
Are they gonna have him try to go after Fatu? Like what?
That looks like it, because then there was
I know, but like at
a part
SummerSlam
that I
or
missed.
next month, like next week, like what I'm saying is like their programs for the most part usually seem to be like, especially with somebody like him, like a multiple pay-per-view program, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think that that's what they're going to do with Fatu? I don't know, just
I don't know.
because it seems like
It would benefit them probably, or at least
I don't know.
somewhat.
I'm not sure if they want to keep Fatu locked in a 2-month program with Priest right now.
Yeah.
Because SummerSlam with him, it's going to be a solo versus Fatu at SummerSlam, I think. So it's when's the next Saturday
if not
night?
by then we got that one in Atlanta
When's that?
in July.
Betcha that's what when that'll be. Right?
Yeah, probably.
Because
Probably.
and I don't know. I just like I was saying, I know I'm getting there slowly, but I just don't think they have any real plans for a lot of these people right now. I think that they are somewhat creatively bankrupt, and they're not sure what to do with some of these people, and that's why they're bringing a lot of these newer people in. But you know, just bringing newer people in doesn't mean that the creatives all of a sudden going to have these ideas. But where are we at here? The men's Money in the Bank triple threat qualifying. So Andrade versus Jacob Fatu and Carmelo Hayes. This was an alright match. I feel like this is probably the best thing so far on the show.
Yeah.
Andrade's you know, he doesn't have too much going, but he's pretty solid in the ring. Those spinning back elbows that he does, like, look really good. You know, he I don't think anybody's doing it better than like think about the Judas effect. It looks way better than that, and it's kind of similar. But anyways, Andrade and Fatu exchange early offense. Hayes tries to roll up Fatu after a Miz distraction, but fails. Andrade dives and accidentally hits the Miz thanks to Fatu counter. Then we got picture-in-picture after that. Mello and Andrade trade offense while Fatu recovers. He was laying out a lot for this match, by the way. Fatu returns and dominates both men until Andrade fights back. Crowd stays hot as the U.S. champ reasserts control. Andrade and Hayes narrowly dodge a hip attack from Fatu. Hayes hits a code breaker. Andrade hits a Spanish fly. Then Fatu splash wipes them both out. Wouldn't it suck to have that guy jumping at you? Like, you just
not great.
Fatu goes for a moonsault, but Andrade cuts him off. A series of near falls exchanged between all three. Barricade crash plus chaos. Andrade and Hayes dodge, sending Fatu crashing through the barricade. Hayes grabs a table. Andrade grabs a chair. Mello DDT Andrade on a table outside the ring. Inside, Andrade nearly steals it with a cradle. Picture-in-picture number 2 here. Hayes and Andrade battle in the ring. Fatu remains out of view until the break ends. And then we got the final stretch here. Andrade tries to suplex Mello, but Fatu returns with a Spanish fly on Andrade and a senton on Mello. Another near fall. JC, Mateo, and Solo Sikoa arrive at ringside, causing distractions. Fatu hits a double Samoan drop, misses a moonsault. Hayes and Andrade exchange finishers, leaving all three men down. The finish sees Fatu hitting his implant DDT and a double jump moonsault, but the rest distracted by Solo Sikoa. JC Mateo orders Fatu to do another, but Jimmy Uso clears out Mateo out. Fatu gets knocked off the apron, and Andrade rolls him up for the win. So, not a bad little match, like I said. It's obvious.
That was nice to see Andrade win, yeah.
Yeah, it's obvious where they're going, though. Like we were saying with the whole Fatu feuding against Solo and probably Mateo helping him. You know, this had told a couple different stories, you know, with what Solo's got, or with what Fatu's got going on, and then promoted the person actually winning the match going on to go into that. I doubt it'll be Andrade, but that'd be funny. But like I said, I feel like Andrade was actually like the guy who kind of showed up in this match, and you know, definitely I feel like looked better than anybody else in it. And you know, with Fatu being in the match, it's saying a lot because he usually looks pretty good these days, fucking running head first and everything.
Yeah,
but not a bad match, right?
No, it was pretty solid. You know, it was probably the best match of the night. Like I had said, it was nice to see Andrade get the win, like you and I were just talking about before the match started.
Yeah.
It was good to see him do stuff. He's a solid hand. He deserves to be in the Money in the Bank match. Obviously, he's not going to win it, but you want good workers to be in those kind of matches when there's that many guys.
And you say that too because me and you watched him in WWE, then go to AEW, then come back. So it's just been interesting watching him his little journey here for a little while, huh?
Yeah, or lack thereof. Poor guy.
Yeah. But did we do the post match here? I stopped it right after the match, right?
Yeah.
Fatu argued with Mateo and Sikoa, and then backstage, LA Knight warns the field with a lightning fast promo. It's interrupted by Aleister Black, who simply says, "You're welcome." Then we get a final cutaway, brief shot of Cody Rhodes, who was, about to go face to face with John Cena. Then it cuts. Was weird, the pacing of the show, how it goes in between the shit that should just be continuous. And then after being rolled up by Andrade in the Money in the Bank qualifier, Fatu rages backstage. Solo tries to calm him down, but Fatu barks back for the last time. Stop trying to help. Fatu storms off, leaving Mateo and Solo behind. So that was about it on that. I mean, again, not bad. You know, they're telling the story they need to tell, right?
Exactly.
Man, I like Fatu and everything. I just like, what's Solo gonna do when he's done working with his family members?
I don't know.
Does anybody want to see him beyond that? But he's not bad doing this stuff, and he can talk, but his matches are just kind of okay, and I don't know. I'm just wondering what he's gonna do after this shit. But that's neither here nor there, right?
Right.
Take us, I guess, there to where we're going now. With Cody Rhodes here and John Cena.
Oh, geez, yeah. So we get an in-ring segment with Cody Rhodes, and he comes out to a huge ovation, and, you know, they do the whole Cody Rhodes is coming out and doing the Cody Rhodes stuff. You know, all that. And he gets out to the ring after all the pageantry and all that jazz, and he asks the crowd, "What do you want to talk about?" to another big pop. And he reflects on losing the WWE Championship. He talks about, he asked a friend, was he a good champion? He reflected on the AJ Styles faking retirement and attacking him, getting jumped while his family was feet away, and The Rock demanding his soul, and John Cena offering him a choice and hesitating. He says he'll never hesitate again and tells Cena, "Your expiration will come when you look into my eyes." And he teases a surprise, leading to the crowd chants of "Yeet." And Cody Rhodes then introduces Jey Uso. You know, and he comes out, does all the Uso things.
They rolled it up again.
They hit it a few times.
Yeah. It's funny, man. Yeah. It's funny because Cody did the little thing showing him to do it again.
No, hell yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So then Jey Uso comes out, and they do the yeet twice. And then Logan Paul and John Cena interrupt. Cena comes out cutting his promo. He comes out to heavy boos. Yeet. Yep. And he calls Cody and Jay pro wrestling's biggest wannabes and claims that they both want to be him, and it makes him sick. He says that there's only one man besides him who truly lives hustle, loyalty, and respect. And then it's Logan Paul, of course. He introduced by Cena to more boos. Logan Paul joins him in the ring. Cena says Logan doesn't need to pay his dues. He's paying everyone else's mortgages, and gets right in Cody's face, kind of. Logan mocks the fans. "You'll all live long, miserable lives, but at least you'll get to witness this moment." He reminds Jay he only retained the title because Cody helped him, which is weird because, Logan only would have won the title because John Cena helped him. So it's a stupid thought process. But anyway, he gets heat. He calls Cody and Jay Nepo babies, mocking their what? Nepo babies born on third, thinking they hit a triple. I don't know why I couldn't read that for a second. declares himself and Cena self-made legends and says that I'm not a superstar, I'm the superstar. And then Jay says, we can handle this right now. Yeet. Cena, yeah, yeet. And Cena and Logan argue about strategy. And Cody hits him with the, what are you guys talking about? You going to go back there and polish his Peacemaker? And then Cena gets out of the ring and Logan tries to go for a buckshot lariat and Cody dodges it. Jay hits Logan, who retreats along Cena. The final visual is Cody Rhodes holding up the WWE Championship, Jey Uso holding up the World Heavyweight Championship, standing tall together as SmackDown goes off the air. And this was a below average episode. The end wasn't bad. I thought that it was, it told the story that we needed to tell to get to the pay-per-view. What did you think of all this?
I mean, it was all right. It's like there were still some people in the crowd that were wanting to boo Cody a little bit, but overall you got a good reaction, but not crazy. I think it's kind of weird how they just had Cena sit there and like run him down, and they didn't really get the chance to reply. They would have both ran him down the same way, but it's like they're trying to like make Cena look good or something. I don't get it. That's the whole point. It's like one guy says something, then they should retaliate with good shit, and then other writers in the back have good shit for them to say. They're just not letting them do it. I thought it was strange. But this is overall like a pretty shitty episode of SmackDown. I'll probably get like a 3 or a 4. It was one of the shittier shows they've done in a while.
Yeah.
They've been
another thing that disappointed about the promo was there was no. Yeah.
Well, that being said, we got all the out of the way. We can go ahead and to Collision here, and
oh boy,
yeah, I'll go ahead and start us here. So we got Collision from 5/31/2025. They had an attendance 3611. It was set up for 3856. So they had 245 tickets left. They said a near sellout on commentary, with whatever that may mean. At the El Paso County Coliseum in El Paso, Texas. It was taped on 5/28/25, same day as Dynamite. The crowd was pretty beat for this show, huh?
Yeah.
AEW International Championship #1 contender tournament match. Claudio Castagnoli versus Commander. This match didn't have a lot of in it to me. I would have liked to the fuck on out of there once I see Commander on TV, but I mean that's just me. Claudio's alright. I like Claudio, but he's basically like the guy that does a promo every 3 months and just stands around with the group that he's with, the Death Riders. So the match begins with a lockup. Claudio forces Commander into the ropes. There's a no clean break. Claudio immediately attacks with chops, kicks, stomps in the corner. Commander tries to fight back, but Claudio dominates early with power moves. Commander attempts offense, but Claudio catches him midair, hits a giant swing. That was pretty nice. Claudio throws Commander to the floor and slams him into the barricade multiple times. Commander regroups and hits an arm drag, followed by a rope walk dive to the floor. Crowd erupts as Commander hits another rope walk dive, but Claudio counters with 3 backbreakers. Commander survives a 2 count and escapes a half crab submission. Commander rallies with a faceplant and a near fall off the top rope. Claudio attempts a top rope move, but is countered. Commander hits a sunset bomb for a 2 count. Commander tries a top rope moonsault, but Claudio catches him and hits a head drop finisher. So Claudio ended up catching him midair, moonsault, and drops him on his head, pinfall. So I don't know. This is pretty much like the show was all luchador shit for the most part, and the stuff that they did at least looked tight, and it wasn't bad looking for what it was. But I'm just not really too into the lucha style, and Commander just fucking sucks. But it was a decent enough match for what it was, I guess. But it's just a match with 2 guys that wrestling each other for what reason exactly? Oh, the AEW International. Match. Yeah, but like, but
yeah,
but who's Commander? Like, what's he doing there?
Exactly.
What matches
Just
he won?
one of many masked guys that are on the show that we have no reason to care about.
Well, when was the last time you think he's won a match on TV?
Well, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you.
Like
Probably been a minute.
You couldn't take somebody that you would actually think like. So the match of the results of the match weren't a foregone conclusion, and maybe actually have the chance of getting somebody over by beating somebody that had some form of credibility. That's how you would get somebody over, at least in the way that they produce television, right? But you can't really get somebody over if the guy that he's beating is some fucking clown.
Right. You have to make the wins have to mean something. It's not like especially in AEW where they always used to talk about wins mattering.
Well, it can't matter against Commander. And any tournament that has him in it, or number one contenders bullshit, is you just look at it like, oh, that guy has a chance to compete for the belt. Fuck, must not mean a whole lot.
Match kind of sucked. Show sucks.
This was alright the next day.
Oh yeah, probably one of the better things of the night here. We get a backstage segment with Swerve, Will Ospreay, and Hangman Page. Renee Paquette is interviewing Swerve about his issues with Hangman. He's mid-response when Ospreay interrupts. He tells Swerve the AEW title should be around Page's waist, calling Hangman the best in the world. He also reminds Swerve that he was the first black world champion, implying it's not enough. Swerve calls Ospreay delusional and says he's done talking. Backstage brawl erupts between the two, and security rushes in and pulls them apart. It actually sounds cooler than it was. It was one of the better parts of the show. If that tells you anything, that a backstage pull apart was one of the better parts of the show. But I like these guys, and it further builds the feud between what we're going to see Ospreay and Swerve, which will be cool.
Yeah, that'll be nice. They're both some of the better guys on the show. Match.
Yeah.
Well, that and both guys usually don't have something that doesn't have somewhat of a small build up. Like Swerve usually has like a feud with somebody for months on end. So
right,
that'll be nice to keep them busy against two guys that you like. But I'll jump us into the next one here if you want. It's a 6-man tag match.
Good.
Don Callis family, Trent Beretta, Romero, and Takeshita versus Ishii, Paragon, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. Man, it seems like Rocky Romero is like these guys are on Collision and TV a lot, man. Like, I don't know. The match begins with chaos as heels clear the ring, sending all faces to the floor. Romero's taken out to the outside by O'Reilly and Strong. Ishii and Strong team up on Takeshita, placing them in a chair while O'Reilly attacks. Action returns to the ring. Romero and Ishii start off officially. Ishii takes control, tags in Strong. Romero counters and tags in Beretta. Ref distracted by Takeshita. Don Callis interferes, nailing Strong. I thought that was funny because he was talking shit on Strong beforehand. Then he gets up when he's like kind of hanging over a rope and goes up and punches him. But I'm back from break. O'Reilly takes over with leg sweeps and stiff strikes. Kyle drops Trent on his head and goes for a pin. Romero breaks it up. Ishii is tagged and no-sells Trent's strikes before blasting him into the corner. Takeshita's tagged in but quickly knocked down. Romero re-enters. Paragon double teams Takeshita. Strong hits a backbreaker. Ishii covers for 2. Takeshita fires back with a blue thunder bomb on Ishii. Kyle clotheslines Takeshita. Trent hits a half and half suplex on Kyle. Ishii tries and lifting Takeshita. Ref bump occurs. Romero lowballs Ishii. Takeshita hits a second blue thunder bomb on Ishii. So Romero low blows Ishii from behind the ref's back, and Takeshita lands a blue thunder bomb on him and gets the pin. So the Don Callis family wins. I'll be honest with you. I found this match a real chore to pay attention to. It's just the people involved don't really give you a reason to care about it, and it's just a match to fill time. What do you think? Yeah.
That's what I think of that match. That was one of those ones that I worked on a little bit of editing while that was on, because it was just worse than watching grass grow or paint dry.
Yeah, just more cold matches that are just kind of tossed together, and I don't know. We have more of that here next with Okada versus Anthony Bowens. Before we want to start that, we were watching this around the same time today. I guess you were skipping the commercials. I wasn't. So I started watching first, and you kind of caught up to me, and we were watching this at the same time, and or you got up to it a little bit after me, I think. And I noticed that when Okada came out, they had a lot of they sweetened up the crowd for him pretty good. They weren't cheering for him at all, and it was a stone cold fucking pop in there. You know,
it was the crowd looked pretty dead, but the noise was pretty loud. They were definitely piping that shit in.
Yeah, it's funny. Just put on a fucking good show. You won't have to pipe anything in. But
don't make people have to go to a 5-hour wrestling show, and they'll probably be more excited.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have they're gonna be sitting through longer than that this Wednesday. But go ahead and start us off here with Okada versus Bowens.
Okay, so the match starts out with a traditional lockup. Okada sends Bowens to the ropes and gives a clean break. Second lockup, Bowens pushes Okada to the ropes and taunts him with a scissor gesture. Bowens surprises Okada with a famouser and follows up with another slam. Okada rolls out to regroup. Bowens follows and slaps him on the floor. The two exchange forearm strikes at ringside as the referee counts. Bowens breaks the count, but immediately is ambushed by Okada on the outside. We go to a commercial break on Max, and then when we come back, Okada hits the top rope elbow and then flips off the crowd. Bowens counters by grabbing Okada's finger, slamming him down for a near fall. Bowens climbs to the top, but is met by Okada. After a struggle, Bowens lands a second rope DDT for a 2 count. Bowens targets Okada's knee and head with strikes before trying another pin attempt. Okada counters with a neck breaker and locks in a wrist hold. Bowens escapes and slaps Okada hard across the chest. Exchange of forearm shots. Bowens hits a pump kick and drops Okada head first. Bowens charges, but Okada catches him mid-run with a Rainmaker clothesline, and the finish is Okada hits the Rainmaker on Bowens and wins via pinfall. And it was an okay match. It was okay to see Bowens out there, I guess, competing with somebody that's a champion. They still shouldn't have broke up the Acclaimed. Both of these guys are kind of floundering, doing nothing but jobs. But what did you think of this?
I mean, not much. It was a TV match, and I don't know, Okada just isn't really trying. You know, he just has these really slow-paced, boring matches, and nobody's really selling anything for the most part. And Bowens is all right, but I mean, there's just not much to talk about here. We got a backstage segment with Don Callis, Lance Archer, Daniel Garcia, and Daddy Magic. Lexi Nair's interviewing Garcia and Daddy Magic about what's next. Don Callis and Lance Archer interrupt the segment. Callis questions why Garcia is still hanging around with Daddy Magic. Callis tells Garcia to stop listening to Daddy Magic and consider joining the Don Callis family. He emphasizes that the family wants volunteers, not hostages, after Garcia kind of was acting like he didn't want to join. He would act like he wasn't going to press it on him, but he urged Garcia to think it over. I don't know. It's all right, I guess. It couldn't hurt him. You know, Daddy Magic fucking looks like the guy changing your tires or oil on your car.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Not much. I pretty much do without all of these guys outside of the Don Callis guys, and I mean even some of them could probably go.
Yeah.
But some of these next guys from the next segment could probably stay, but some of them could also go.
The next segment wasn't too bad. It was one of the highlights of the show, just because FTR.
Yeah. Yeah.
And take us into that.
Yeah, so we get FTR and Stokely Hathaway come out to loud boos from the crowd, and they enter the ring soaking in the negative reaction. Dax invites Nigel McGuinness into the ring to address recent tension. Stokely says that FTR have proved they're the best and call themselves Legend Killers. They issue an open challenge to any tag team south of the border, and Atlantis Jr. and Templario answer the challenge. I don't know who the fuck these guys are. Cash Wheeler shows respects by calling them living luchas and refers to his time holding gold in Mexico. Dax insults their masks and says they look like Power Rangers and downplays their reputation, mocking them with Power Rangers references. There it is. Dax mentions the AEW CMLL show in Mexico on June 18th, teasing a match at Grand Slam Mexico. He insists Atlantis Jr.'s father, Atlantis Sr., or he insults, not insists, telling him to stay home. Atlantis Jr. responds in Spanish, prompting more disrespect from Dax. Dax insists this is about AEW and CMLL business, and then FTR ambush Atlantis Jr. and Templario. The Luchadors fight back, sending FTR to the floor to a huge pop from the crowd. Atlantis Jr. closes by declaring they'll kick FTR's ass, and the crowds were chanting some kind of Spanish profanity or slur at FTR during the segment. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty loud, so that was funny. What did you think of this? I thought the Power Rangers thing was funny.
I thought it was good in general. They FTR, I've said that I like the way that they're doing their heel stuff. They'll kind of be nice and like act like they're not dickheads, but then they'll start acting like dickheads, but then go back to being nice, and then they'll like make like passive aggressive fucking comments about the guys, and their delivery's good, and they're good as heels and faces, but they I don't know. I enjoyed it. This was a good segment, and the one Atlantis Jr. guy, he could talk a little bit. So this was so far he was my favorite luchador on the show, and I don't think that changes throughout the whole thing. But that's not saying much. But at least when like a guy can talk and express himself, it would lead you to, when they have a voice, you know it sticks out to you, as opposed to just some guy speaking some shit that you don't understand. Like, no offense to anybody, but it just helps. But we fans, yeah, it's funny they chanted the shit to him at the end. What was that?
I don't know what they were. I think they were chanting like "Pero Adam" or something like that, which I think only means dog.
Oh, okay.
Dog.
Yeah, but after that it was a singles match with Mina versus Sky Blue. The match opened up with a lockup, and Mina breaks it with a shove. Sky Blue takes Mina down face first. Both exchange strikes upon recovery. Blue hits a kick to the midsection, followed by a stomp. Blue sends Mina to the corner, but Mina counters with a palm strike to the jaw. Mina grabs Blue's arm, whops to the top rope, and drops down for a near fall. Both women fight on the ring apron. Mina attempts a German suplex, but Blue counters and drops her head first into the apron. After we come back from a commercial, Blue hits a powerbomb, but only goes for a 2 count. Blue lands a thrust kick and attempts a code Blue, but Mina counters. Mina hits a top rope neck breaker for a near fall, and then Mina finishes with a glamour driver for a 3 count. So Mina won there. And then we got the post-match angle with Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tawny Storm. Julia Hart storms the ring and puts Mina in a heartless submission. Sky Blue joins in, kicking Mina while she's down. Tony Storm's music hits, and she rushes the ring to make the save. Storm clears the ring, chasing off Hart and Blue as the crowd cheers. So the tag team match. Oh, sorry. What'd you think about that?
It was all right. I'm a fan of both of these gals. Wasn't the greatest match all time or anything, but it didn't offend me.
Nah, it was all right, and at least they set it up. Yeah. I think they're gonna have a match between everybody involved next week, a tag.
Yeah. So they're just
just setting that up for the 4-hour extravaganza Dynamite next week.
Oh boy.
But yeah, we got a tag team match with the Gates of Agony, Toa, Leona, and Bishop Khan versus GMO, Kaminari, and Cosmo Orion. Who are those? Are they local guys? What?
I don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
I never heard of them before in my life.
Yeah, I don't know either. Who were they, Cora?
What?
The guys that the Gates of Agony went against.
I don't remember.
GMO, Kaminari, and Cosmo Orion.
Nobody I know.
I thought they were your favorites.
Oh, no.
But we got a match.
They're just local El Paso guys.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. That's not bad. But the match begins after the break, and the Gates of Agony enter. Their opponent's already in the ring. Khan starts with Orion landing a stiff chop and a running suplex. Khan follows up with a buckle bomb to Orion. Leona tags in, and GMO Kaminari enters for his team. Leona dominates GMO with power offense. Khan returns, hitting the running rope, taking out GMO. Gates of Agony double team both opponents, dropping them hard on their backs. They cover both men simultaneously for the win. So at the finish, all the Gates of Agony hitting a dominant double team move on both opponents. They got the pinfall, and I don't know, is what it was. Just kind of like a squash match, you know. They have those on the shows a lot. And then we got the other half of the Acclaimed here with Max Caster hyping himself up backstage, right?
This was a really weird fucking segment too.
Yeah, he was like talking in front of like a group of people.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just it's like a pre-tape deal, and you know, like you were saying, he's hyping himself up in front of a group of AEW staff and fans, declaring himself the best wrestler alive. Says he wants to take pictures with everybody, but only if they sign a petition stating that he's the best. After he hands out the petition, eagerly looking for signatures, he suddenly runs out of the building, leaving everyone confused. Had like a comedic, self-absorbed, typical Max Caster type of humor segment. They kind of have turned this guy into a complete joke. I don't know. What did you think of this?
I mean, I like Max Caster, and it's weird they're doing this. Maybe he's hurt, so this is how they're keeping him on TV, but I don't know where they're going to go with it. And these segments haven't been the worst, but they don't really seem like they're going anywhere. And we can go somewhere to the next one here. It was this trios match. You want to talk about this one?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Just more fucking crap,
yeah.
right?
Pretty much. So we get a trios match here, and it's Roosh, Dralistico, and the Beast Mortos versus AR Fox and Top Flight.
They were hyping
This is
it
the
up.
main event, by the way.
They were hyping it up as like, this is Darius's 50th win, and Darius has over 50 wins, and Dante has over 100. It's like, well, fuck. I guess wins don't mean a whole lot.
Yeah. So the match begins with Roosh lighting up AR Fox with heavy chops. Mortos and Dralistico double team Fox, sending him hard to the mat. Dralistico charges but gets dumped onto the floor by Fox. Fox and Top Flight take flight, hitting big dives on all three opponents on the outside. Back in the ring, Roosh regains control, taking out all three of the faces to chants from the crowd. Mortos lands more chops on Fox. Roosh corners Fox and hits his signature feint kick spot, ending with a brutal face kick. We go to a commercial on Max and come back, and all three heels triple team AR Fox. Mortos covers Fox, but only gets a 2 count. Fox fights back with kicks and hits a swanton on Mortos. Darius tags in and runs wild. I don't know about that. Taking out Dralistico and Rush. Darius nearly pins Dralistico, but Mortos breaks it up and gets tagged in. Top Flight double team Mortos. Fox joins in for some 3-on-1 combo offense on Dralistico, but he rallies with a destroyer on Darius. Roosh tags in briefly. Dralistico hits a top rope move on Darius, then wipes out Dante and Fox at ringside. Mortos follows with a dive through the ropes, taking Fox out and Dante. Darius is left alone in the corner. Roosh charges in and hits a huge kick for the win. So the finish is Roosh connects with his corner kick on Darius after the chaos clears the ring, and he gets a 1-2-3, and we get and then we get some post-match chaos and rescue after the bell. Roosh grabs a camera cable and begins choking Darius Martin with it. Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander rush the ring to stop the beatdown, and the heels briefly fight them off, but Bailey and Commander recover to clear the ring. And the crowd pops kinda, not really, as the heels retreat, and that's the end of the show. And we all now have shorter lives, having watched this show and now having talked about it. And what did you think of this?
I think when it comes to, it was probably one of the worst collisions I've ever seen. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It sucked.
It's pretty bad.
There's no long-term vision. A lot of this was set up just to kind of like introduce or reintroduce you to the guys from CMLL for that show they're going to be having, and the Forbidden Door stuff, and just, I don't know, I almost fell asleep with you talking about that match there. So, no, it's just fucking terrible, terrible, terrible. Let's get the fuck away from this and talk about something else.
Pretty much.
All right.
Well,
cool.
We're gonna talk about some news. Why don't you let us know what happened?
Well, we did a short on this, but we'll talk about it now. Mariah May removed from AEW roster page, and that usually means that they're on out of there, and it makes sense because we've been hearing that she's going to be on out of there for a while now. So as of May 30th, 2025, Mariah May's profile was officially removed from AEW's roster page. This sparked speculation regarding her AEW status. So the contract situation via Fightful Select is her two-year deal is reportedly nearing its expiration. AEW reps say her contract has not officially expired as of 1:30 p.m. Eastern. AEW management was aware of her plan to move on. WWE interest has been confirmed by sources within WWE. AEW talent were surprised her deal did not include an option year, which would have allowed AEW to extend her contract. So no indication she would be released early, and her last AEW appearance was in AEW Revolution March 2025, where she lost to Tony. It
was a good match.
Yeah, so people were just wondering why she didn't have the contract year with the option year added on, like a lot of people do. It's to protect Tony, which usually has it in there. And is WWE the next step? And if so, which branch are you going to go to? Could we see her debut at Money in the Bank? Maybe, but yeah, going to WWE is she's one of them girls that it's been her dream since she got into wrestling. So it makes sense, and she'll do good over there. She'll be one of the best in-ring chicks that they have, and she'll be one of the better promos that they have. And if they have good stuff for her to do, then she'll excel over there.
Oh yeah, all the stuff she did with Tony Storm over the last year was great. So
yeah.
if they give her something that she can work with, I think that she'll do well there.
Yeah, I agree. And Money in the Bank, maybe, but I have a pretty good feeling.
Might be a little soon.
Yeah, she's not. Think about it this way: she's not leaving AEW to go anywhere else.
No.
Yeah, she will definitely be going over there.
What's Mariah May doing in the Impact Zone?
Yeah, she wanted to get away from Tiny Khan.
Oh no!
So this next one here, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we got reports that Harley Cameron was injured at Double or Nothing. So that was why part of the match on Wednesday went the way that it was. Per Brian Alvarez at the Wrestling Observer, Haley Cameron is injured and will be out of action for an undetermined period. The injury occurred during the tag match at AEW Double or Nothing, where her and Anna Jay lost to Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. He is saying that the facial bleeding during the match on Wednesday was not real from her, and they used it to set up an injury angle. The angle was designed to explain Cameron's upcoming time off from in-ring action, and no official timetable has been given for her recovery or return. And they haven't said what, if anything, is even actually wrong with her. So could this, signal a longer storyline absence or just a short break? What's going to be next for Anna Jay without Harley? Also, it looked like that she got legitimately hurt when her face got bounced off of that chair by Megan Bayne. Her nose was all fucked up looking, and they were walking her to the back. And, is AEW going to follow up on this injury with Megan and Penelope's push, or is everything going to just kind of continue on the course that it's on? What do you think of all this, TJ?
I don't know. I think that she actually got hurt in that match I think they all got hurt in the tag match, not before. And maybe somebody's just trying to cover, but that's bullshit. That blood was real on her nose. Her nose was fucking busted open.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty real to me.
It had clots in it and shit, man.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going on there, and if somebody's trying to cover or some shit, but Harley definitely got hurt that night, not at the pay-per-view. or whenever the fuck they said it happened. But I mean, not too much to say
They
there.
they said that it happened at Double or Nothing. I don't know. It definitely looked legit that she got hurt at Dynamite too.
Yeah, it looked bad, and I think multiple girls got hurt. That was a terrible match. You know, none of them know how to do that shit.
Yep,
it was a complete shit show. So we'll go ahead and move on from that. We got Abadon announcing her AEW departure. She confirmed via social media that her AEW contract will expire in June and will not be renewed. She has not appeared on AEW television since December 2023, but was active on ROH programming through early 2025. Her official statement highlights her time with AEW is coming to an end. Her contract expires in June and shall not be renewed. She describes her emotions as difficult and full of conflict while reflecting on her time in AEW. She reaffirms her love for wrestling, stating, "My goal is not to let this be it for me. I put in a lot of hard work that I will now be able to showcase more often." Now she will continue training next week and is open for bookings. So she got her email booking abadonhere@gmail.com.
What the fuck?
Yeah, talking points. Was Abadon ever truly utilized to her potential in AEW? She hasn't been on TV since December 2023. Are supernatural-based characters too hard to book in modern wrestling? Could the indie scene or companies like TNA or GCW offer a better platform? Would WWE ever consider someone like Abadon's unique presentation? She'll do good on the indies. She'll make a lot of money on the indies for a couple of years.
Oh yeah, we'll be seeing her in
yeah.
GCW for sure.
Yeah, ex-AEW talent. I mean, they always go and make some money some other places because they were there, and she was on TV, so that does at least mean something for her, right?
Yeah, and she did have some cool matches and some cool stuff. It's not like she was completely worthless.
Yeah, I mean, and she made a lot of money, for probably not a lot of work.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
Yeah, so
good for her.
We were sitting there hanging out earlier today, talking some, and I saw this right when it happened, but I told you hey, did you see that R-Truth was released from WWE today? And you were like, what? That's bullshit. And I was like, nah, look it up. And then I guess you looked it up and you saw that other people were reporting it too, right?
It was about 45 minutes after it happened. You were telling me about it. Yeah. So we didn't even have this on the show prep, and everything was already done and ready for today, and then this happened.
Yeah. So on June 1st, 2025 at 11:12 a.m., R-Truth announced via Twitter that he has been released from WWE. The news followed a week where, after a high-profile match against John Cena at Saturday night's main event, and just began involving with other segments in a match with JC Mateo, and a potential feud with the new Bloodline was teased on Friday Night Smackdown. His exact post read, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you all for the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you. Truth has been a constant presence in WWE for over 20 years, beloved by both his fans, comedic timing, and his in-ring talent. His release comes as a surprise, especially given his featured role the night prior. Reports from Fightful Select and PW Insider confirm that Truth is set to leave WWE when his current contract expires. I don't know. I think that's bullshit, and it's just going to be some story. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it seems weird that it would be coming out, early in the morning on a Sunday.
Yeah,
but you never know. What obviously, if it's not a work and he's done, he has options. The AEW, TNA, or even stand-up comedy. I know he's had some successful stand-up comedy stops that he's done. Obviously, he had a run in TNA back in the day, and AEW is an option. You go in there and get paired up with Ricochet for his new faction, something like that. I don't know. He's going to land on his feet and make money somewhere, but
it's just weird.
It's disappointing.
They got some people still there that just aren't very good.
Yeah, it really a lot of it caught a lot of people off guard. Backstage, I was reading, and there big outpouring of support from all of the wrestlers and fans and things of that nature. So It's very unexpected if it's a real thing.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I'm not buying it, but we'll see. I mean, what do I know, right?
We're just guys.
Yeah, we've had things like this happen in the past before, but I don't know. R-Truth it's funny because you can't take anything he says seriously. You know, he's everything. His character is that he's an idiot. You know, so they could have just re-signed him, and you know, he took it the exact opposite way.
Right. He's just working us because his character doesn't understand.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ways it could go, but who knows? I mean, I guess the only way we'll really know is when we see him pop up somewhere else.
Yep.
Or WWE, but
we'll know in a few more days, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe they'll have that be the link at SummerSlam. You think he's gone, and when it's Cody versus Cena at SummerSlam, he'll intervene, and that'll be the big surprise that we never saw coming.
Does he fuck Cody over, or does he fuck Cena over?
Cena. You know, because Cena's an asshole.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on from that. So that's basically us wrapping it up, right?
Yeah.
All right, man. It was a rough wrestling week, man. This was one of the shittier weeks they've had in a while.
Yeah.
You know,
it was.
Dynamite was probably the best show of the week, I think, and that's not saying much.
Looking forward to Raw tomorrow, though. There'll be some good stuff on there. You know, we're going to get the main roster debut of Stephanie Vakir. She's in a Money in the Bank qualifier with Liv Morgan and Ivy Nile. And that'll probably be pretty good. You know, as good as it can be for a triple threat. They've been doing pretty good with the triple threats the last few weeks, surprisingly.
Yeah, they have. But we'll go ahead and get on out of here if you want.
Yeah.
So the next episode's going to be what we just said, the Raw deal. So we'll talk to you guys Tuesday about that, and we'll have some more news and whatever else we think's worth talking about at the time. So we're social media shit again, you know, at OverMark ENT, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify. So having that said, thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys like always. Give us a like. Tell us, your friends about us. Comment on our shit. Anything to help the that algorithm guy. What is it? Algorithm? You said. I think his name is.
Gotta whip that guy's ass.
Yeah. Once he sees that we get likes and stuff, he like suggests it to other people, so we can make Al happy. That'll make everybody happy. But we appreciate you guys listening, and what we got, like we always say, we got you overmaniacs out here hooking us up with the listening, and we got us here saying the shit, and we appreciate you guys. I'm just drawing on here. Go ahead, Dave. Say bye to so we can go.
See you next Tuesday, brothers.
Yep. Good night, guys.